So today we're going to be doing a shed base. Everything you need to know about shed bases: the excavation, the foundations, the measurements, how to get it square, how to lay your bricks, how to put your floor base in, how to put the concrete in, DPM, DPCs, the whole shenanigans. So if you want to see it and you want to see us do it and you want to learn how to do your shed base, tune in and hope you enjoy the video. We got the shed sprayed out now. So this is the outside of footing, inside of footing, single skin blockwork and brickwork going around the perimeter. A small window over there, roller shutter door here, rubber roof falling that way into the garden, gutter in here with a water butt there. So just got to dig it out now, ready for concrete. So what you want to do when you do your shed, right, to mark this out, just use Pythagoras theorem, right? So I did stop pointing just because it's making it blurry. So you do your 3, 4, 5. So it could be like 3 foot this way, 4 foot that way, 5 foot across the back there, where the two join up, you're square, right? So I've used that method all the way around. I've marked my foundations out. If I remember rightly, they were 350mm wide. I've got 100mm block in the middle, and then I've got a nice gap on the end for my toe on my foot in there as well. So we're just going down to some clay, and we've gone down around about 350mm. So we're going to put 200mm foundation, concrete foundation, all the way around, level. You can use laser level, you can use dumpy level, but it's so small. Fraser's just using a 6 foot level just to see if the trench is level, and we follow the level from this point all the way around, dig it all out, and then the concrete then will go in next. Right then, so this is the next phase now. So we've dug all this out, it's all square and everything. What I'd advise you to do if you're building your shed is that peg in the floor there is 200mm from top to the actual ground, right? So it's going to be 200mm for the thickness of our concrete, okay? So what I've done now, I need to know gauge of brickwork. So gauge of brickwork for the DIYer is a brick plus the bed, which is the cement joint here. So generally, if you're using metric bricks, today's bricks, it's 65mm for the brick and 10mm for the bed, so 75mm, right? So customer has asked me at the back, which is here, to put 1 brick above damp proof level. It should be 2 bricks, 150mm or 6 inches, but he's asked me to put 1 brick. Really important for the reasons why. Because the ground is doing that, it's actually sloping. This is the high bit and it's getting lower, so the ground is sloping down that way. So that 1 course of bricks here could end up being 3 courses of bricks down here. Now we've got a height restriction on the shed. Now again, check your planning in your area for what you need to keep in with planning for you to do your shed, right? So customers had a look online and it's 2.5 high that are allowed to do. So we're going to really struggle to get the height on it, okay? So got that peg in 200mm thick, and then to work out that for bricks, what I did, let me show you. So I put a brick on top of there, which is 225mm, which is 3 courses of bricks. Put a level from there to there. This brings me 1 course of brick above ground, so that ticks the box. And it ticks the box on my 200mm of thick concrete, and it ticks the box that when we go putting the concrete in, the concrete doesn't come higher than the ground that we've got. So boys have got the pegs, we'll peg everything out using the spirit level and using that dumpy level just to make sure our levels are right, and that's what we're going to be doing next. But don't put your pegs too far apart. You wouldn't want to put one down here because when you're doing your concrete, you don't want to have them too far apart, because the concrete could go up and down like a humpback bridge, and you want them around about the distance of a 4-foot level apart, just to keep an eye on the concrete to make sure it's flat. So right, we'll peg it all out, and then we'll come back to you. So there we are. How long you doing these pegs then, Frey?
450, 500.
450, 500. So they're going into the ground, and you've got 200 showing. So you want to get yourself quite a long peg, because you want it in the ground. You don't want to tip your concrete into your footing, and then the concrete push the peg over, and you haven't got your level. You don't want to be doing that when the mixer wagon turns up. So get your pegs cut the right size. Oh. So at this point, what I'd advise you do is where Ryan's right foot is on the floor there. So this, hang on, let me zoom you out. That's better. Right, so this section here, the floor footprint, we've already dug that down approximately. So what Ryan's doing now, those 3 courses of bricks there represent our finished level of damp proof course, right? So he's put a level off there. We've measured down from the underside of the level down to the floor. Okay, Ryan, you can stand up now. Thank you very much, mate. That measurement is 185 mil. So what you actually need is, for a standard shed, I would put 100 mil of MOT type 1 in, or you could put 150 if you want to, and you can pack that, and then you're going to need to put 100 millimeters of concrete in as well. Also, you will need to put a DPM in, a damp proof membrane, which we'll go through with you shortly. Tomorrow we're going to be putting the concrete in here, so that's when you'll catch up with us next. So we are a couple of millimeters too high on the footprint, but when we put our single skin blockwork and brickwork up, this will need to be dug out, and you'll just splay it into the holes on the toe of the foundation, and it's only like 15 mil too high. So we'll do that, and that'll enable us to get our floor in. You don't really want to be digging your floor out when you've got all your edging up, and you've got to go over and barrow over the top of bricks and stuff. So yeah, just a little top tip for you. So get your floor done as you're digging out at that time, at that point. Other thing is as well, I'm trying to give you as many tips as I can. This side, you can see we managed to peg everything out. Everything else is rock solid. Frey tried bashing the pegs into the ground, and it was just stone. Ryan even got the sledgehammer out the back of the van, and it just wouldn't touch it. So don't panic. Concrete's coming tomorrow, so we've transferred the level from there to the yellow line there to the yellow line there, and it's not level, but it's roughly level. So it gives me an indication of when we put the concrete in, I know roughly where the concrete's got to go. So quite simply, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to get the concrete into those pegs, and I'm going to have to come off that peg level this way, come off the peg level that way, and then fill this bit in. But I'm going to have to do that on my hands and knees on a spirit level, just to make sure that it is in absolutely where we want it to be. Ryan keeps telling me off, saying I'm calling concrete concrete. So if I am saying concrete, it's not, it's concrete, just to get that straight. Anyway, so what we got to do now, look, is we got to bring the concrete in from the front. And we're going to plank all this out, get it all nice and safe and neat and tidy, because you don't want to be borrowing on mud, because you'll be slipping and sliding everywhere. So we'll get it all sorted, get it all safe, and we'll show you what the run-in is like for our concrete tomorrow when we've done that. I'm trying to give you as much info. So another thing is, if you've got a dumpy level like this, or you've got a laser level, that leveling equipment will give you the measurements and the levels over there that you need a lot better than just using spirit levels. And sorry about the noise in the background, it's not us, it's other builders, we just got to deal with it. Right, so it's the next day now, it's the concrete shear. So the boys, they'll load the concrete into here, so we got all this covered, look. You ready, Ryan? No. Your first concrete trip, mate, yeah? It's quite hectic, you got to work your goonies off. Alright, mate? You got to work your goonies off, but it lasts about an hour, and then you can have 5, then you're done. Alright, mate? Just be safe. I say be safe. So this is his walkway. We've boarded all this out as best as we can. You excited, Frey?
Yep.
Yep.
Can't wait.
Can't wait for it. So this is the run. The got one of these staging boards because I think a plank is a bit bouncy. A plank, that's aluminium, and they're a bit thin, so I didn't want anybody hurting themselves. And then we've got these, I've got 2 boards there so you don't split. The theory is the boys will come onto here. Obviously this is for the shed. They'll barrow into here. I always get butterflies when concrete comes. I always say this, but I don't know why, but there we are. Let's just get on with it. Oh, here he comes. I don't know why, but my heart is absolutely racing. It always happens with concrete, and I just can't understand why. Check it to the left, Frey. I just said my heart is absolutely thumping. As soon as I see that first barrow coming in, oh my god.
My legs are hurting just from that one.
Your legs are hurting you from one. Oh, well, as soon as this shed's done, you're on the even keel then, aren't you? So it's going to be difficult to film this because the 3 of us have got a job and we haven't got a camera person. So what's going to happen is the lads are going to put the barrows in here. I'm going to lay it to the top of the pegs, and I'm responsible to get it all level. You all right, Ryan? So if you can put that to the left of the one that's in there, please, mate. Go on, you haven't got time to ask about. You've got to get it in there. Go on, chuck it in, and then back, and then get down there quick because you're on a time scale on this now. So you've got to, whether you like it or not, you've got to put a shift in. Right, as soon as that starts filling up now, I can get on the rake. I'll just tamp it down, make sure it's level, and away to go. I'm not being harsh on Ryan, but it's his first job, it's his first go. I've got to explain to him because you've got to get it in you because we are on a bit of a time limit with it. So here's Frey. Frey, if you can put it in the middle of the 2 that's been brought in, right in the middle.
On that peg, is it?
On that peg, yeah, that's great. I was just trying to explain to young Ryan the importance of putting a shift in and getting it done because he's faffing with it a little bit, and we just got to get it in, mate. Right, so I got to get. I'm on my job now, so I'll come back to you when I can. Whew. Yes, please. There we are. I'm saying phew. The boys are the ones that's working harder than me. I'm just leveler upper. So this is where we are so far. I'm just getting on my hands and knees and making sure it's level to the level. And young Ryan, as much as I'm whipping him, he's doing a cracking job. Fair play to him. There we go then. Job done. That's the shed base in, 200mm of concrete. That's 200mm thick. There's a bit of a chunk of concrete in there. Floor's all pretty much in the right place, as I said. It's all squared out. So now what you've got now is that stage of it is done. So you need to start thinking about the next stage, which we've already done. So I've worked out how many blocks I need and how many bricks I need, and they're going to go for a Class B engineering brick. So all the blocks, all the bricks and everything is all underneath there, all covered up with a damp proof membrane, ready to rock and roll. So next you'll see us setting out bricklaying, setting out the shed. We're going to build up to DPC in Class B engineering bricks, which will match the wall building down on the bottom of the garden, and then it'll be the horrible 7 N concrete blocks, which I hate at my age now, but that's what's going to happen with that. Hopefully we get an up and over door or a roller shutter door here and a window on the side with a rubber roof. So plenty more to come on this one. Stay tuned. So now you're on to the bricklaying stage now with your shed. So first and foremost, mix. You want building sand because it's a finer grade than sharp sand. You want building sand and cement. So your ratio would be 4 shovelfuls of sand and 1 shovelful of cement. Now then, setting out, right? I've been doing this for years, so I don't faff about with this. What you could do, if you're a DIYer, if somebody who hasn't done it before, you could get a string line across here. You could get a string line on the whole perimeter. Down here, all the perimeters. Set your string lines out that way, all the way around, and then you could do your Pythagoras theorem, your 3 meters, 4 meters, 5 meters. That's that right angle square. The same on all corners, measure your diagonals, and then plumb down off your lines to make that, you know, perfectly square. But the foundation's quite high, so I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm not going to faff about. I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to do it. So what I'm going to do, the measurements we've been given for the shed are 3 meters. If you come close, right, get yourself one of these tape measures, right? So it's a bricklayer's tape. Just Google bricklayer's tape. That's 1 brick, that's 2 bricks, that's 3 bricks, and so on. So what we do, look, our shed measurement is 3 meters. Okay, so we've been given 3 meters, so 3 meters takes us up to 13 blocks. So that's 2.9 meters. So I'm going to do 13 and a half bricks, or 13 or 14 bricks long it'll be. I'll show you when we put that up in there, and then the width of it is around 2.7. But what I'm trying to say is, you've got to get it to work bricks. You don't want cuts in your brickwork. So I'm going to lay that. I've measured 1 meter off the wall. I put a line in the footing, and I've measured 1 meter off the wall. I put a line in the footing up there as well. Now I'm going to run that in, and I'm going to get a set square, and I'm going to square that across there. Trick is with brickwork, get your 2 courses up. That then is set out. Everything follows the first and second course. Looking at me, you're thinking, oh, it's too cold to lay bricks. If you're trying to lay bricks or blockwork or anything, and it's 4 degrees or below, 4 degrees is okay. Anything below 4 degrees, don't lay it, because the frost will attack it and it'll crumble. Today it's about 7 degrees, so we can crack on. So I got this line set out. Just you could put that straight into the floor if you want your pin, but I've got a tarmac spike brick there, 1 meter from the wall, bed it up. Same up that side, 1 meter from the wall, bed it up. And what I've done is I've centralized this brick in the footing, look, center to the footing. I've measured from there down to there, our desired measurement, which is just over 3 meters. So I know that by the time I come down to here, that on my return brickwork comes more or less central into the middle of here as well. So I'm not only trying to work out the bricks and the bonds and the sizes, I'm trying to get it central to the foundation as well. So we've got that line set up, no other squares set up yet. So get that, we'll get this running, and then I'll come back to you and show you the next bit of your setting out. So far then, I've got this laid now, and I've used my 8-foot level to make sure that's level from left to right. So that brickwork's level. I've measured from here to there, and I've got it to work 13 and a half bricks long, which is just over the 3 meter, which is the measurements we've been given by the customer that he wants for his shed. So it's slightly over 3 meters, but it works brick, so that's what you're looking for. I'm not doing it to a drawing, it's not an extension, it's a shed. So as long as it works bricks, it's fine. So what I've got now, look, very, very important, I've got that brick sitting center of the foundation, and I got this brick more or less coming through center of the foundation. So what I've done now, look, is I've used this square. You can pick these up in any builder's merchants, and I've put the square on there, and I've drawn a line, put some sand and cement down, and I've drawn a line to bring me square off that brickwork. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a line up, I'm going to put a dead brick up here, bed a brick up, tarmac spike, line, I'm going to put a line all the way through, and then I'm going to run that brickwork in, and I'll show you how we can check that it's also square at the end when I've run that in as well. Apologies for this noise in the background. The builder's working opposite us, is still breaking some shed or something, knocking it down. Anyway, so where was we? We've got that side in, now we've got that side in. So what I did, look, that line, I run about 4 bricks out to the line that I put from the square. Once I was 4 bricks out, I rechecked the square, put the square back on to make sure it was square, put a line in, and I've transferred my line all the way across to here, but the line has to be in line with the outside of the brickwork to transfer the line across. That's imperative. So put that line through, and then I've just run my brickwork in then to that line. I put a brick over here, bedded up, which we call a dead man, and I've leveled from there to there with the 8-foot level, put the line on it, run it in, it is level, and my measurement, my magic measurement the customer wants is 2.7 meters, right? So you can see there, 2.7 meters is exactly what we got, and we got that to work bricks. So now we've got a right angle, we got this. I'm going to leave this open because we're borrowing in, all the muck is coming in this way, so I'm going to leave this until last, or I might just leave a couple of bricks out in the middle. But what I'm going to do now, so that magic measurement of 2.7 from there to there, which works bricks, and it's more or less centre of the foundation, I'm going to measure from here 2.7 from there to there. I'm going to make a mark, put a line down on the cement, and then I'm going to run that in from there to there, and then we'll do some other checks just to make sure we're running through square. So that's my next bit, my next job. So what I've done now, look, is I've created myself that, so the brick now gets laid inside that line. So I got the same measurement from where Ryan is, that point of the brick up there to here. I've got the same measurement from there to there, which is this line that goes that way, and then I've got this measurement here is the same measurement from there to there, from there to there. So I'm going to set this up, I'm going to run that in, and then I'm going to do some checks for square. Now what I'm doing now, before I run this in, I'm measuring my diagonals. So it's 4 meters and 50 to there, and it's 4 meters and 50 from there over to there, which tells me that that's square. Okay lads, you can stand up now, thank you very much. So that is actually square. So when I run that in up here, I know now, before I run it in, I know it's actually square, and it's as simple as that. So I just got to make sure that this is level to that, and that is level to that. If you had a dumpy level or a laser level, that would help you out. You could put a point of your level on each corner and double check it, but we're just using the spirit level today. So get that in, run that in now, and yeah, get the second course in, and the brickwork is set out. So what you want to do now to get your corners, all I've done, look, is lay 3 bricks. You lay 3 bricks on each corner. I'll set your second course up. So we have brick on here, brick on there, level, brick here, get that level. Well, importantly, what you're doing is you're measuring from the brick you laid underneath to the underside of your level, and you want 75 millimeters, right? If the foundation, don't measure it from the foundation 150 mil, because the foundation was slightly out, right? So measure it from your brickwork, because we've just got that level. So 75 mil, that's correct, that's level. And then you've got a plumbing point here, so you make that plumb, and you make that corner plumb. That's 2 plumbing points. That's your 3rd plumbing point there, that's got to be plumb. So the level, the bubble's in the middle of the level vertically. Another plumbing point there, that's got to be plumb, which it isn't. And then you just range it in and make sure all the bricks are touching on there like that. And Fraser's doing the same down there. We'll do all the corners, and then once all the corners are set up, we can put a line on, and we just lay all the bricks to the line for the second course all the way around. There we go. Just got a corner set up there in that corner. That one's set up. So you've got all the 4 corners set up. So all we need to do now, as you can probably see with that pink line, Frey got a pink line set up from there to there, and just lay the bricks to half bond on the line, and we'll do that all the way around. And then we got our second course set up, and then first and second course is set up, so that means your square set up, your brick bond is set up, and then we just got to get up to DPC, single skin shed. So there's no skin on the inside, there's no cavity, it's a garden shed, it's a single skin. You don't lay bricks very often, there's Frey. Considering you don't lay them very often, you don't do a bad job, Fraser.
I get annoyed because once I don't do it for a while, then start laying them and I don't really know what I'm doing, or I'm slow, it annoys me.
Yeah, it's just because, like I say, you're not doing it day in, day out. Another top tip for you, God, I should be charging you for this. When you mix up your sand and cement, don't mix it too wet, mix it up quite dry but fluffy, because these engineering bricks will stain. Now, we used engineering bricks because the customer wants them on the wall that you're going to see behind us, but engineering bricks below ground got a low water porosity, a good frost proofing on them, and they're generally used for underground purposes. So yeah, they suit this job on the below damp proof course on the shed perfectly. So there we are. We'll just run that to the line, leave this open now to get the, I can't be arsed standing traipsing around in mud, so we're going to do it from in there on the boards. Young Ryan has got a mix on. So there we are. But to give you another little bit of an insight, right, so this is where we're working. That's where we've stacked all the blocks and bricks out. So the workplace is here, the blocks and bricks are there covered in DPM. You can see that it's been pouring down. We've just had Storm Dara and they're perfectly dry. So you've got to cover your materials to keep them dry. The mixing station is here, and then we're working here. So that's what you want. You don't want to be traipsing up and down the garden and bringing stuff in and making it. So set things up for yourself before you start work and make it easy for yourself. So there we are then, up to 3 courses, all level, all square, all singing and dancing. Job done. You can see now, early part of the video I was saying dig the floor out while you've got the digger here. So you can see that's 225, which is 3 courses of bricks. So we're pretty much, by the time we put our layer of scalpings in the floor, DPM and the concrete, which will lay level to damp proof course all the way around, and then that's the floor done. That incidentally is coming next. Damp all set up here now. MOT type 1 in the wheelbarrow, which is the grade of stone we're going to be using here. So you can see you got 225mm. So we're going to put 100mm of scalpings in there, whack it. Then we're going to put a layer of sand blinding, which is 20mm. And I'll go through with you what the sand actually does. And then we're going to use this stuff, which is a 1200 gauge DPM, damp proof membrane. We're going to put that in the floor. I've got 2 really keen employees here in the name of Fraser and Ryan. So 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Go home.
Yeah, go home. Yeah, okay, we're going home. Right, let's go then. Ta-da! MOT type 1 in. So we've got to whack it now. So what I've done, look, is I measured 120mm. I put a strip down there, a strip down here, a strip up there, and then I just filled the middle in. I didn't even use the level, I just used my eye, bricklayer's eye, to just level it all around. That's ready for whacking now. So we get the whacker plate out of the van, whack it, and we'll show you that. And then yeah, the sand which we put on top when it's whacked is about 20mm thick, and it's just a blinding. So what the sand actually does is when that plastic 1200 gauge DPM goes on top of it as a damp proof, so it'll stop rising damp coming up through the floor, so the floor will stay dry. You won't get any water coming up through the floor. That's what that stops. So the sand stops that being punctured by the stone. That's it. That's the only reason why the sand is there. So there we are, all whacked. You can see who's doing all the work here. Got Papa Smurf there sat down, look. So if you want to get one of these whacker plates and you haven't got one, you can get them from any hire centre. Just get the heavy duty one, because they do try to give you ones with a very narrow blade on them, and they're quite lightweight, so you need something that's heavy to be able to whack that down. So that's whacked. Next job, sand blinding over the top and the DPM, and then we'll concrete the floor slab. Well done, lads. You managed to bring us a long way to bring all that in, so you've actually done a good job there, haven't you? Fair play.
Luckily we're getting paid double time for
right, okay, gotta go. So I put 20mm of building sand in there now on top, just a thin 20mm layer, whacked it. So we've got, you can see there's 100mm now all the way around the perimeter, all the way through, for our concrete. So next step, 1200 gauge DPM in. So if you're wondering what the 1200 gauge is, the 1200 gauge is the thickness of plastic, right? I think they do a 900 as well, so the 900 is thinner, the 1200 is thicker. So you want the thickest one possible, because obviously the thicker the plastic, the better it's going to be to stop rising, stop the damp coming up through. So what I do is I've lapped it up the side here, look, and then I've put it over on top of the brickwork, and the DPC then will go on top of there, so that is completely sealed. A lot of people cut it off by here. There's nothing wrong with that, but I just find it better to put it up and over because you completely seal the whole thing in then. Now, concrete. So what we've done, look, right, is we've got this, in Wales we call this all in. I think a lot of other people might call it ballast. So simply what it is, it's a sand, and you can see, look, right, chippings and sand already mixed in a bulk bag. 4 shovelfuls of that all into the mixer. So 4 shovelfuls of sand and 1 shovelful of cement, and then you just keep on putting another 4 shovelfuls of sand, 1 shovelful of cement, until your mixer is like Ryan's is there, and your mixer's full. No feb mix, no additives, just water, cement, and all in. And you just let that mix to a point where it's all thoroughly mixed through. It's critical that every mix is the same. You need to keep it a gauge of 4 and 1, because if you don't, you'll have weak bits and strong bits in your concrete in different colours. There we are. So you can see we got a lot of concrete to mix. I suppose in hindsight I could have had a mixer wagon here. It would have been about 0.7 of a cube to get a mixer wagon here, but we'll persist. So you can see Fraser's launching the mix on. You've got to be quick with the mixes. You've got to try and get every mix exactly the same. So once he's finished that, we'll put another, so that's 1 mix. So we put another mix here, get a line, start putting it all in, just lay it level as you possibly can to your bricks, and then we'll get the tamper, which is this bit of straight 3x2, and tamp it through, which we'll show you. Yeah, the beauty of these little bell mixers is they're on a stand, so you just tip that straight into there. Now we always use the stand, it's just so much easier faffing about scooping it back off the floor. You just tip it from there into there and bring it in. So yeah, I'm going to show you a top tip now. What happens is when you're barrowing on here, unknowingly every wheelbarrow comes in, and you can see it. The damp proof membrane starts shunting forward. You can see where it's starting to move this way. So what I'm going to get Ryan to put half in there, half a barrow there, half a barrow there of concrete, and I'm just going to leave it there. And when they come in with the barrows, that'll stop the weight of the concrete, will stop it shunting forward. There we go, that's what I'm on about. A little bit up there, a little bit up there, that stops moving now, job done. So when you get to this stage, again, top tip for you, put that down there, that concrete down here. Now it's level off that brick at the back, and level or flush then to the brick on the side. Likewise, level or flush, level, flush to this side. So that's pretty much in the right place, pretty much in the right place. Next wheelbarrow full, you just fill in the middle now, and I'm just making it lineable to that and that. Fill it in up to about by here, and we'll tamp it. We haven't shown you that yet, we'll show you that. We'll tamp it and bring the excess back into this top section up here. But that's the way you want to do it. So I haven't put a spirit level on this because I'm going off my brickwork, which obviously was level from the last time. I know it's level because we built it, so no spirit level required. Tamping. So put the blue line on top with the spray, because you don't want to be turning that over. So with timber, there's going to be a slight discrepancy both sides. You just want to keep it to the same size. So that's what that is. So what we're going to do now, we're going to start tamping. I've done a lot of it with the back of the rake, okay? So Fraser's going to do his end, I'm going to do my end, and we're going to work along. We're going to tamp the concrete in to where we want it, and then we're going to move it back and forth to get the correct level. So what you're looking for is you're looking the underside of the wood to touch the brick, same over Fraser's side, and as you can see now, there's no undulations, there's no gaps where the concrete's low in the middle, and that is basically it. You want to be at the same time, you don't want to be going off at an angle, so try and do it at the same time when you're doing yours. Ready? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Right. 2, 3. Keep going. Okay, you alright there? Yeah? Right, so that's tamped. I've done most of it with the rake, back end of the rake anyway. So you just want to go where you left off now. And now we're going to go back and forth, okay? We're just dragging off any surplus concrete that may be a little bit high to where we want it. That's what this is. Ready? 3? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Right there. Right, you can see now that we're dragging all the fat, all the top of the concrete that's a little bit high away, and we're level to the brickwork, which is where we want to be. So there's no rush, just do it in stages. You ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. A tiny bit quicker your end. Yep. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Top tip for you: don't fill this bit in, because all the stuff you're bringing back can fill up into this bit here, okay? So a little bit of excess here, that can go in there, and all the excess that came through, oh excuse me, has already gone in there. You just got to fill this bit up now with some more concrete, and then we'll go over that a few times to get a nice finisher on it. Right, last top tip for you: when you're screeding, what you can find is all this build up of cement on here. So if that sets and you put your blockwork on top of there, you might have tipping blockwork. It's going to be a bit of a mess. So when you finish, just get all that off, all the way along. See it all coming off, look. Quite a lot of it on there. Scrape that off. Once it's all scraped off, Ryan's got us a bucket of water and a brush, and we'll clean all the brickwork off, let that set, and it's ready for blockwork then. Nice job. If you wanted to float your floor, bull floats and all different types of floats on it, you'd have to let it set a lot longer than that. But for a shed, that's good to go for me. So there we go. There's your shed base. Hopefully the video has helped you. Next video, we're going to be building the blockwork up and putting the roof on and setting out for doors and windows. So if you're interested in that, tune in next time. Until then, please like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.